Have you been sitting there working, minding your own business, when all of a sudden a colleague and or a boss from another department comes and starts giving you instructions or trying to correct you, and you're wondering, in what universe is this okay? Well, you're not alone. Hey there, my name is Tammy and I am your communication and leadership coach. And if you have been in this scenario, which hands up, I think many of us have been, where a colleague has felt the need to correct you, give you instructions, tell you what your workload is, or a manager from another department comes over and you're just like, I didn't know that you were my leader today. Where was this communication? Why aren't you going through my boss? And why isn't it my boss that's talking to me? Then this video is going to help give you some tools and resources so that you can have this very challenging conversation without risking your career or reputation. So how do you know if this is a conversation you should have? Because many times we'll be working away and somebody will come in and tell us what to do or how to correct our job. And while we are upset about it, we maybe do what they need to do and we can move on. So there's a really critical factor here to determine as to whether or not this is a conversation you absolutely need to have. And it is simply this. If you cannot go home at the end of the day and release it to being just part of the job and come back the next day without any issues, then you need to have a conversation. So your night will likely look like this. You've left work, you're grumbling about it still, you're replaying the moments. You go home and whoever lives there is now hearing the replay of the day's events, including this particular colleague and or manager who has somehow come in and felt that they are now your supervisor. And you're grumbling about it later in the evening and you sleep restless and you wake up the next day and you're like, oh, I do not want to see this person today. This is the sign of a conversation that needs to happen, and we'll call it a clear the air conversation. Now, when I say if you can let this go, I'm talking about genuinely letting it go. Meaning that if you were to ask yourself a question, like if I were to walk into the same room with them again, would it feel like there's this energy between us that's a bit complicated, or like an elephant in the room, we can't talk about this? Because if that's the case, you haven't genuinely let it go. And if you let it go and things feel like they're still undone, like there's something that's just weighing on you, so I often call it like get the stink off of you. Literally, we got to get the stink off of you. If you're still carrying that negative energy with you, there's frustration, disappointment, maybe anger, and every time you see this person, it triggers a little bit more, that's not genuinely letting it go. So truly, genuinely letting it go is a skill. And if you decide to do that, you need to be able to walk away and be in the same room with them and not have any attachment to the past. It's in the past. I'm going to guess that if you're still watching, this is a matter of not being able to genuinely let it go, and this is normal, okay? But you need to know what your intention is. And to help you, I'll give you a few questions here. Number one is, what would this conversation achieve? So what is the outcome you're looking for? If you can't name a specific outcome, then this isn't the time to have the conversation, because here's what's going to happen. You're going to get in there. We're still in fight or flight defense mode, and the conversation might go 100 ways, and a confused mind can never get to solution. So know what it is you're looking for. What is the result? Name it so that you can share it in your conversation. A second question would be, what do I need to understand? Is there a gap in my knowledge? Am I seeing things from one perspective and maybe there's something I'm missing? And so if you're looking to understand something, be clear around what you're trying to understand, just like your goals, so that you can share that in your conversation. So for example, hey John, I'm trying to understand the power dynamic I felt yesterday. Like I was working on my desk, getting at this presentation, and when you came by and gave me a bunch of edits for my presentation, it felt like maybe you were managing this and I didn't know that you were part of the team. Can you help me understand when you became invested in this project? That's it. Now, if you're hoping the other person is going to change, tread carefully, because we know that we can't change somebody else's thoughts, feelings, actions, behaviors. We can influence them, but the decision to change is up to them. So if your goal in having a clear the air conversation is to change their behavior, this may not be the right approach. A clear the air conversation is really about you gaining understanding, clarity, awareness, so that you can make a decision as to whether or not this conflict can be let go genuinely, or it requires further conversation. Now, of course, there are many benefits to having a clear the air conversation where you can gain the understanding and the insights that you need to move this relationship back to connection. Improved relationships, top of mind. Improved health, self-esteem, morale. And then, of course, there's those other benefits like you're going to sleep better, you're going to have less anxiety, and your blood pressure will drop. Not to mention your confidence is going to go through the roof. Now, a clear the air conversation does not have to be complicated. Let's give you a very simple structure. We're going to do 4 parts to this. Number 1 is state the situation. Bring them into the arena, as I always call it, so they know what we're talking about. Be very specific about the event, the factual pieces, and not an opinion in the very first part of this conversation. So if we talk about John coming in and giving a bunch of edits to our presentation, then we want to say, hey John, when you came in and told me to edit slide number 4, 5, and 6 to add this content, very, very specific. He's now in the arena with us. He knows exactly what we're talking about, and we can move this conversation to the next step. So the first step is to bring them into the arena and be very specific about the context, the behaviors, what it is you saw or experienced. The second step could be, you can add a little bit, I was feeling, or I noticed, and make this about you, because we want to reduce any defensive pointing a finger saying, you made me feel. We all choose our feelings, so we want to own them. That's part of being responsible and creating a space where people feel safe to come into conversation. So, John, when you came in and told me to correct slide number 4, 5, and 6 and add this content, I was feeling a little frustrated because I wasn't sure where you joined this team. Or I was feeling really confused because I didn't know you were invested and reviewing the work. Share something there as to how this is important to you. So step 1, what's the issue? Bring them in the arena. Step 2 is why it's important to you. Step 3, we're now going to ask for some clarity. And you're going to offer a couple of ideas here. Like, I'm wondering if maybe I didn't get the email that you were on this team, because that would certainly help clear things up for me. Or if maybe you just have a personal interest in this and you're passionate about the outcome. Can you help me understand? And then the 4th thing is to stay silent, right? So we're going to bring them in the arena, share how it made me feel, what you thought, your observations, and then ask for some clarification, and then stay silent. Give them the space to talk. Be open to hearing what they have to say. So don't go in there with a predetermined outcome in mind that they have to follow into this pattern, otherwise there's no resolution. Instead, keep open to the conversation and the exploration, because we do not own the outcome. We are simply on the journey together. And if we stay open, we have our perspective, they have their perspective, we may be able to find a place of resolution so much faster than if you genuinely held on to this conflict for a very long time. So my friends, you do not need to hold on to this conflict. It is not a burden for you to bear. This is not about you taking on the weight of the world and trying to show them that you can handle it. That's not what this is about. This is about creating healthy relationships through conversation. Creating a safe space, a psychologically safe space we call it, where you can bring forward these questions and concerns without feeling like you're risking your career, your reputation, and we want to make sure that your health is also remaining intact. Okay? And so if you take a step back, look at every conflict you've gone through in the last little while. The ones that are still nagging on with you, they require a clear the air conversation. And so remember to set the stage and set yourself up for success. Consider what it is that you want. Bring them into the arena. Let me take a step back. When you know what you want out of this resolution, the goal that you're trying to achieve, it will automatically help you with your planning. But you need to not just go with the first thought of what I want, because often that is, I want them to stop. I want them to piss off, leave me alone, this isn't their job. You need to go deeper. Why is that important for you? And go several layers deep. Keep asking yourself that question. With every answer you make, ask another question and get down to the root of why it's important for you. That will help you with your planning. So, just to summarize, we're going to bring them into the arena with us, situate them into the situation. Give them the story, the quick 2-minute, hey, yesterday when, or last week when, or even last hour, or a few minutes ago, whatever it is. Bring them in. Be specific so they are in the seats with you. The second thing is we're going to share how it impacted you. I feel, I wondered, I was curious. Third thing is we're going to ask for some clarification. I wonder if, and then we're going to wait in silence for them to respond. Keeping open so that what they're going to tell us may be different than what we expected and what we tell ourselves to be true. Because here's the risk. We have a story that we've told ourselves, that they're overstepping, that they're micromanaging, but there may be another potential. It may be that they're absolutely invested or they're a silent partner and you weren't aware of that. And so be open to hearing what they're going to say so that this conversation can then move forward in a genuine way. Hit that thumbs up, share this video, and of course, subscribe to this channel. It lets me know that this content is valuable and I'll continue to produce more. As always, you're only one conversation away.